Look, it's not, you don't have to be a prophet. What we have to do is be obedient. And I get emails all day long, and they say, what do I have to do what you do? And I say, please don't do it because it'll make you crazy. I said, do what God calls you to do, but don't think for any minute that you can step into this arena, because I'm just simply saying this. There are hundreds, if not thousands of people interceding for me daily to bring the word of the Lord. And they're relating to the giftings of God in my life. This is not me. Hey, if I were to judge myself, I'd say I'm a pretty cracked piece of pottery. Yet it's the water to a thirsty man, even anything that will hold a little water. And I've learned a long time ago, my strength and my purpose in life is to be obedient to Jesus. Look, I'm 62, and I know I harp on that a long time. And I told one guy the other day, who was older than I was, I said, I got you beat by 3. I said, I'm 186, and he broke me back an email and said, well, you look pretty good on Prophecy and News for 186. I said, because I lived at 3 times the speed of light. People that know me know that's not an exaggeration. I was so driven. When I say driven, I was so focused on doing what I did. And believe me, and I'm sorry to say this, but if there was a limit that could be broken, I would break it in speed. If there are airplanes to be flown, I would make sure that, and I don't fly anymore. I quit years ago because somebody with, supposedly ADD or whatever people think I have. My wife thinks I have it, and I go, well, listen, my brain just fires faster than most people. And the bottom line is that, it had to be fast. So what I've had to learn is to slow down, and people have been, helpful in that, telling me, slow down, Steve, you're talking too fast, you're covering too much territory. But what I'm trying to share with people tonight is, look, the night really does come when no man can work, and Pastor Langford and I will be on, and we'll be serving communion on Hagman and Hagman Sunday night, and David has a powerful message, and those nights are for the things of God specifically, but there's no separating, Doug. You see, if the parable of the 10 talents, the parable of the 10 virgins, and notice it's always half and half, It's always half and half, and it's the midnight hour, and we're right there right now, and again, we can't lose track of the fact that children are being gunned down, that the elderly are being gunned down, that moms, professional women, and I absolutely was heartbroken. My breath was taken away, and I just started to tear up. And I said, it's come, hasn't it, Lord? It's here now. So when I make statements of blood's going to run the streets, remember this, ladies and gentlemen, I made that statement 20 years ago. When I made the statement that everything you denied your brethren worldwide when you didn't stick up for them. And it goes to the same thing in prison. We're commanded to remember our brethren that are in prison. Because if these guys have their way, if you live, you go to prison. What most people cannot understand, Mystery Babylon is judged by the living God for trafficking in men's souls. Every single human being has a price on their head as slave labor. When Pastor David Langford and others said, we have been in captivity, now we're going to bondage. If you don't like the word bondage, let me just make it easy for you. Removed from the United States, taken to countries yet unknown to you, and you will be slaves the rest of your lives. And I'm talking about something that breaks my heart. And I say to the Lord, I say, God, give me one more day. And when I come on Hagman and Hagman, I'll tell you what my prayer is, Doug, every time. God, make me clear. Keep me from biting with my tongue. Help me just to speak what you speak. And obviously, I'm still working on a quote, or God's still working on me, and I'm working on issues. But the point is that the passion in me is the pleadings of God with a nation. The Lord calls judgment his strange work, his peculiar work. And that word, by the way, even has in one variation in Strong's Concordance, it's the same word for Nephilim. So it's pretty hard to get people to understand that we've got these issues facing us, and then I need to, by the grace of God, take you into the next battle arena, and that's all the stuff that I've been writing about. And again, when I'm dealing with people who and God bless you, Pastor John and Billings, God bless you. When I'm dealing with sisters in the Lord that are having such demonic manifestations and Bigfoot and portals opening and the most extreme, what I call spiritual or physio-spiritual trauma, and I'm telling you what, at that point, it's the blood of Jesus, it's the power of the Holy Ghost, and it's the faith. And I just bless John, Kyle, in Jesus' name. Thank you. Thank those of you who are fearless in the face of hell. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have a pastor that's fearless in the face of hell, I can give you the names of some that are worthy of your support, because I believe that the workman is worthy of his hire. And thank each and every one of you that's listened to this program. That's helped Brother Bruce. That's helped Brother Langford. That's helped Pastor Kyle. That's helped Brother Marcus. God bless you, Barbara K., and your generosity. God bless you, Lisa M., and your generosity. God bless you, JD and JP, in your generosity. God bless each and every one of you. And I don't know all the names and initials, but I'm just saying this. These are brothers and sisters who absolutely live to give. God bless you, Cornelius. Man, Cornelius II, I nicknamed him that because he stepped right up to the pump. And you'd want him in the arena with you. Trust me, you'd want him. And plus, he knows how to drive fast, okay? And if somebody's a 55-mile-an-hour guy or a 60-mile-an-hour guy, or worse, a 30-mile-an-hour guy in a 60 zone in a Subaru, he better speed it up, pick it up, and maybe get a different vehicle.
Absolutely.
I had to get that in.
Wow.
I dealt with the 30-mile-an-hour on 19th, and then they want to make sure they give you the single-finger salute if you pass them because you want to do 40. Or 50.
Or twice that. V, I've got a question for you here, because this is something that I saw on your website, and we were, you had mentioned this. What happens? In fact, I think on Zero Hedge, there might have been a question about this. What happens on... I guess the date selected is October 17th. What if the Treasury were to go over beyond that date, where it can't honor all of its payments without the debt ceiling being raised? What happens?
Well, if that ever happens, then you have a real shutdown. You have a special cadre of idiots. Hubris.
Yeah, not just your run-of-the-mill idiots of this. Special
no,
cadre.
These are special. These are
they're so special.
Cadre of very special idiots, and these are morons who haven't touched the budget in 5 years. It's unbelievable. So
right, exactly.
If it goes to October 17th, and I've gotten answers from very very top levels that that they're not going to do it. But if it does, then you have a shutdown. Then you have the post office. Then you have all sorts of essential services will stop. Your food stamps, your welfare checks, your Social Security checks, all of that would stop. And that at that point it'll be chaos. But at that point, now the question that the banksters fear and what's being kicked around in their circles is, do we, pardon my French, do we piss off the populace to the point that we show up at their doorsteps with pitchforks and torches? Because that is a situation that can happen. Now, there's all sorts of variables, and some would say, well, you got a police force in place. I mean, look. These cops can't shoot if their life depends on it. It's surprising they can hit a mailbox at 25 feet, most of them. So, the thing is, it's if, the that debt ceiling is not raised, and we hit it, then basically you're talking about a complete shutdown of the government. You're talking about a complete shutdown of the Treasury. At that point, all pretty much all economic activity stops. And that's the situation.
Couldn't they just freeze the clock like they did last time, the debt clock, for, what was it, 100 days? The debt did not rise?
Yeah, they froze the debt clock. If you want to see the debt clock tick, you can go to roguemoney.net. I have a debt clock that's ticking. Even though it doesn't show the actual $225 trillion that we owe, but it is ticking.
Just make sure you have a widescreen monitor because you're going to need it.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what these. But you also have to understand this whole debt ceiling thing is just it's just namesake. Okay. Also, in the sense that nobody, either in the Republicans or the Democrats, have any intention of reducing the debt. Okay, again, folks, this is political theater, and I'll tell you why. Why would these putrefied cadre of idiots in the Republican and Democrat wings of globalism and banking incorporated, why would these guys vote to defund themselves? Why would they, vote to stop all their pet projects and all their pork barrel spending? Okay? This is on both sides. I think it was, I don't remember which bill it was that was passed. I mean, some congressman from the South who was a Republican allocated $250 million pork barrel spending for NASCAR. Okay? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that goes on. These guys are not going to decide and vote to defund themselves. No. They love it. It's a drug to them. It's like quantitative easing to the stock market. They just want more of it. So the debt ceiling will be raised. All right, and I have it from the top board. Even guys like Bill Gross over at PIMCO said that we're gonna make sure that it's going to be raised. And the desire right now is just to get rid of the debt ceiling altogether and have us print and hyperinflate to oblivion. But
wow.
I wouldn't. I'm not worried about October 17th.
Okay.
I'm not worried about it. In fact, I just got an email from one of my guys. His name is JC, and JC, he was he lived through the Soviet Union collapse, and he was over in Latvia, and he knows how to survive a collapse. The man's in an engineering background, brilliant man. I think he studied in Oxford. I'm not exactly sure, but very brilliant individual. And he actually said that if they do a grid X, and Steve will probably comment on this, if you do a grid X and they actually take down the whole entire power grid, then you have a disruption of communication where the only people that do have communication and coordination is basically the foreign occupiers at that point. And that's another plausible scenario. I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything like that, but it's just something to think about.
Wow. Steve, what's your take on this GridX situation?
Well, we know from past experiences and past exercises, and again, if you want to go on and just Google Operation Blackjack, we know that every single exercise, and by the way, that woman was murdered during an exercise in Washington, D.C. Something bad always happens, and people die when, quote, they claim it's an exercise. Remember this, exercise is just another word for putting more draconian, people-killing ability in place. That's my statement. So the point is, as they say, never let a good, never let a problem go to waste, or something. Never let a catastrophe go to waste. So they will use it to their benefit. And first of all, James Sinclair made the statement, it's quantitative easing to the end. There is no end of it. And that's how they're going to destroy the dollar. I did have somebody send me an email, and they had a dream, and there's no date on it, but they woke up one night, and the next day the dollar had been literally cut in half. And they saw the value of a dollar going to, I think, either 40 or 50 cents. Well, this is what people don't understand. In order to get the Chinese to buy our debt, everything in America has been sold. Our technology, our landmarks, our natural resources have been sold because of people that have loaned us their fruit of their labor. Let's face it, whether it's slave labor or not, they intend to make good their investment. I can tell you point blank that the Chinese are some of the wisest, some of the smartest, some of the most inventive people in history. And if you don't believe me, just Google Chinese inventions. You'll come up with things like everything from the toothbrush, the seismograph, earthquake monitoring equipment, and also toilet paper, okay? And let's say, ladies and gentlemen, how about that infamous thing known as gunpowder? Ladies and gentlemen, we have right now, and this is what I'm trying to tell you, we have nothing but a lattice. An L-A-T-T-I-C-E left of what once was a great nation. Someone says, you don't sound like you love America, leave it. I love the America that was. I detest, abhor, and want to vomit the America that is. You saw the America that is when that mother was gunned down those so many times. My guess is even the number of bullets had significance to the Illuminists. If Doug, it's like this. We're trying to save people's lives. You can hate us, you can discount us, you can basically gripe, you can use the other word for a female dog at us, but that doesn't alleviate the fact that you have been told the truth. And you can say, well, just because it's I have one guy, I quit talking to him, I blocked him, but he used to just tell me basically go F myself because life is good for him and that's all he cares about. My last response was, I think even, wait until it isn't. Wait until it isn't. Because then, when you could have made a difference, this is what I want to leave before we get the next break, the more people we help on this side of eternity, the more people that will make it into eternity. And I got news for you. That's the number one principle of God's plan. When the Pope said what he said, he basically contradicted Jesus, called Jesus a liar, and don't get mad at me, Catholics. Listen to what the guy is saying. He basically abrogated the Great Commission. Go ye therefore into all the world and make disciples in my name. And the thing is that, when he's talking about the exclusivity of Christianity not being any longer necessity, that's a denial of faith. And the war that's coming in the Catholic Church, I told about it 22 years ago, you can laugh. It's now at the doorsteps to your cathedrals. Doug, we better take a break.
Yeah, we're going to go to that break, and you're right, Steve. Not only did the Pope remove Jesus from any part of salvation, he also said you don't need God to be saved. You need to follow your own conscience, and if you don't, that is the greatest sin. Very sad, and I also saw today numbers that upwards of 60% of Catholics are supporting this Pope and what he's doing and saying, and it's troublesome to see that. Folks, you're listening to the Hagman and Hagman Report on this Friday edition with the guerrilla economist, and Steve Quayle from SteveQuayle.com. We'll be right back after these short messages for the third and final hour, so don't go anywhere.
To all our listeners tonight, folks, Doug Hagman here for American Survival Wholesale. That's AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com. They've got a fantastic special. I just want to tell you about this. They've got an October Hagman and Hagman special. It's on their website. Go to AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com. Click on the store icon and scroll down. It's about halfway down. It's in the center. It's the October Hagman special. Food, water, and stove. Now here's the deal. Really, you get this you get it all. It's and I was talking to the owner from American Survival Wholesale about this and about some about the issues that would face us should we need to prepare food and eat the food and the circumstances. And he came up with this wonderful package. Here's the deal: you can get, or you will get, 2 months of Linden Farms delicious emergency food, plus a 105-year emergency water pouches. In other words, 100 pouches of water, which lasts for 5 years. And by the way, if you store water, you've got to maintain that. You've got to rotate it. Well, these pouches are lasted for 5 years. So once again, you get 2 months of Linden Farms. It's a Cadillac of food, by the way. Delicious emergency food. 105-year emergency water pouches, plus one of the best single burner camp stoves that has ever been tested. By American Survival Wholesale. It features an 8,000 BTU burner. It's matchless ignition. It's got a fully adjustable heat control dial, porcelain drip tray for easy cleanup for klutzes like me. It includes a handy storage case. It's lightweight. It's compact, and it's butane powered. Now, for the first 50 orders, folks, the last special they had, they sold out of everything within, I don't know, it was record time. So, but for the first 50 orders, American Survival Wholesale will double the water to 200 pouches. And by the way, they're going to offer free shipping. And have you ever tried to lift 100 pouches of water, a box of water? It's pretty doggone heavy. So the shipping alone, the savings on that is incredible. So you're getting well over $1,025 worth of merchandise, including food, water, and something to cook it on. Well over that amount, not even including the shipping, for $720. You cannot beat it. I recommend this deal to everybody. This is a well thought out package, because I'll tell you something. The food that you have doesn't really taste all that great without the water, and certainly it tastes a whole lot better when it's warmed up. So just think about that. That's AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com. Take advantage of the special right now, because the first 50 orders, they will double your water storage. That's the first 50 only. That's AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com. AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com. Tell them Doug and Joe sent you.
Survival of the fittest. In any and all situations, survival is your number one priority. That requires being tough and thinking smart. And the folks at Freeze Dry Guy are going to help you do just that. They have a long-range patrol ration entree, what they call the Brick Pack. When you're in survival mode, it is absolutely the best item for your survival pack or bug-out bag. You can go farther, faster, and carry more food with the LRP cold weather ration entrees. Not only do these long-lasting, durable entrees help sustain you or your family through the harshest environment or situation, they are by far the most delicious of their kind. No contest. Can't beat the LRP Brick Packs. Let Freeze Dry Guy help you your survival situations. Go to freezedryguy.com. That's freezedryguy.com. Or call 866-404-3663. That's 866-404-FOOD.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our third and final hour. Actually, we've got about 45 minutes or so of this hour left, of this program left. I want to thank Steve Quayle for being a very stand-up guy, telling it like it is, and for being my friend for as long as he has, putting up with my amateurish questions at times. And just thank you, Steve. And V, we've only known each other since the beginning of the year, I believe. I want to thank you, too, for on the golf links, or in my case, putt. I don't know, but certainly you could be out with your family and doing other things. But here you are warning people about what's to come, and I just want to say thank you so much for that, both of you gentlemen. Oh, one more thing before you get back to Steve and V, folks. Unprecedented in our programming history. We're going to do a Saturday program tomorrow beginning at 6 Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. An intelligence insider, really an insider's insider. We talk about preparation. Well, he's going to be on. Yoda is going to be giving the second installment, actually a larger installment of preparation, of prepping for what's to come, how to handle yourself. That's at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Check out HomelandSecurityUS.com first thing in the morning for details on that. You don't want to miss it. The information you'll derive from that is worth the price that you'll pay to listen to it. I mean, I'll tell you what, seriously, it's worth. It's very valuable, especially coming from this gentleman with respect to his knowledge and experience. But back to V and Steve. Thanks for holding on. Steve, I'm going to turn it back to you, my friend. You take it to where we need to go.
Well, I think and where we need to go is get people to understand that in the last week, they've seen absolute denial of the root problem is we're not living within our means, that the money being spent, what was it? This administration spent more money in the time it's been in office than all the presidents from Washington forward. It's not lost, Doug, on the rest of the world that our days are numbered. Who would have ever thought that the United States would be hiring Russian mercenaries? Let's just face it, that's what they are. That are here, that you'd hear of stories where people are literally looking at their property they're going to move into in some of the prime neighborhoods of the United States. I've talked to people in Seattle, Beverly Hills. I've talked to people in Vancouver. I've talked to people all up and down the coast, both coasts, and they're all saying the same thing. It's like tour buses, and this is one lady's exact statement, is tour buses of people getting out, and she said, these are not people that are vagrants. They're designer handbags, they're fancy shoes, and they're taking pictures with their cameras, and one was even so bold to go up and ask the woman, I believe in the D.C. area, Washington, D.C. Now, obviously, if D.C. gets totally toasted, they may not want, fallout acres, but the point being is that when I make statements like that, there are all those who live in denial. And for those of you that still don't get it, you will go to bed on a Friday night. Maybe it's a Monday night, Tuesday. My guess Friday, because that's the plan. There will be a signal given. That will be in a nanosecond. It'll all be computerized. All the back doors. Listen, every financial transaction you make, every check you write, every credit card bill you take or make or buy with a credit card, every time you fill up in gas, everything is designed to know your every move. Or older that doesn't have all the electronic stuff. And the point that people have got to understand, they're putting too much time and effort into their warnings about grid access. The thing is, Visa available for a short amount of time. When I say the short amount of time, I don't have a time. I know everybody. See, can I ask? This is a rhetorical question. Let's say a voice from heaven said, and because none of us will trust anything now except the voice from heaven. The point being is let's say the voice of heaven, and it's genuinely God, says you've got 72 hours. Ask yourself what you do in those 72 hours. I believe God is so merciful, so just, so long-suffering, so amazing. His mercy is new every morning that He's given us space to repent. He's giving us space to seek Him. And, I tell people all the time, you will get what you believe. If you don't believe God will deliver you, then you'll probably go to heaven early. If you believe God will deliver you, as a believer now, then He'll deliver you because you have not, because you ask not. I think the day of taking Jesus' word so carelessly, so carefree, so religiously, or so kind of what I call lip servicely, I don't know how to say that, but that's the way I would say it, is over. Discussing this one on Sunday night, but just as a taster, can you even begin to imagine in your own lives what that means? And just even today, Doug, well, people knowing because of the announcement on your website and me linking to it, etc., that V and I would be on, that even schools now that are going to be locking down the kids and not allowing the parents to know where they're taken have been given specific TRUNKED special radios, and in those schools shortly before, and I don't know if it's a day, an hour, or they're already there, but people will be moved in to completely control the teachers, the hierarchy, superintendents, etc., and those kids, once they're out of your possession, they become the property of the state. Do you think that these kids don't have a future of slavery? Oh, they'll take the best for what they want them for, but any parent, knowing what they know, being targeted. I even got an email from law enforcement in Pennsylvania, a guy saying, believe me, Steve, we know what's going on, and it's talking specifically about the kids being taken out of the schools. Well, when I used to have a friend named Jack Bowles, marvelous guy, but he said this, and I don't even know if he's still alive. He moved to another state, but he said that people will have the greatest wake-up call when they understand the degree that they've destroyed their children's lives by sending them to public school. I say this, I make no apologies for it. The people I respect most in the earth are homeschoolers. And by the way, if you're a homeschooler mom, and you want to read my book, a homeschooler dad, single mom, single dad, husband, wife, doesn't matter, you want to send me an email, say homeschooler, and please, in clear conscience, be a homeschooler, I'll gladly give you my book. I only give away one free because I give away so many now, and I've just got to make sure I can get everybody covered. But I'll give the book of your choice to you. And I can say this, Doug, I have dealt with some homeschool kids. Robbie, God bless you for raising your kids the way you have. I have dealt with some of the most amazing even talk to 6-year-olds, and believe me, I'd rather talk to a 6-year-old that's open to Jesus than a 60-year-old that basically the whole wineskin is burst and I guess their intestines are on the floor. I'm not being gross, but that's the only way I can describe it. So, ladies and gentlemen, while you have time, ask yourself this tonight. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? And for those of you that think you're going to be fleeing for your life, I recommend, and I still do, the stories, the dreams and visions of people that have come to the United States from other parts of the world that are in their 70s and 80s talk about being able to get out, to bribe. And that doesn't mean everybody will be able to bribe. And somebody says, oh, Christian, oh, yes, it is. You don't know what Jesus, what Mary and Joseph had to go through to get into Egypt. You don't know what taxes they had to pay. And by the way, all taxes is a bribe to keep you out of the hands of the long arm of the law. So any of you that want to get a hold of V, I suggest you contact him this week on the email, and he'll give that when I turn it back over to him, which I'm going to do right away. And if any of you want to talk to me and you're serious, and please, I will not answer one question. Here's what I haven't made clear. IRAs, 401ks that are put into metals cannot be held in your own hands. People say, well, if I buy gold and silver, they're going to confiscate it. Well, yeah, but they're coming for your life, so you ought to maybe put a priority on being able to protect your life, protect your family, feed your life. Now, those of you that don't have the money to buy metals, here's what I tell everybody. I've never changed this statement. Food, 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 food first. You'll be starved into submission. Somebody says, there's a law against that. There's a law against you living, breathing, continuing on in your life. You got to understand that God gave you life, and the Word of God says that Jesus came that you might have life and have it more abundantly. Well, I understand there are brethren in North Korea who are prison camps. I understand there are Christians who are imprisoned all over the world. I understand the Christians are being slaughtered.